I felt like if I was to become successful in that sort of realm, I wouldn't want to be that famous. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be famous to the point to where I can't go outside and cut my grass.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's too much. You don't have a private life no more. Like you under the public microscope and shit. I think I would be like I want to be like JB Smooth famous. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Tony Hadnot, aka the Nocturnist, and I am here with my bro.
Ken Folk, and we are.
Super Hadnot Bros, and we are a podcast about nothing because the conversation about nothing is a conversation about any and everything.
Goddamn right it is.
Um, you're fucking right, it is. But before we get really started with the show, if you've been watching the show and you have not yet hit that subscribe button, I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now because
It's
if you like our
free.
content, support the content. It is free, like you
It's
see,
free as hell.
free as hell. 5 finger discount. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just click the button. Don't even take a whole second. So
Less than a second,
just
man. Go. That's it.
so just make sure that you do that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so what's your week been like?
It's been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Dallas won last night. You know what I'm saying? First round of the playoffs. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw
Yeah.
that out there for them haters. Excuse me. Fuck Tom Brady. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody was counting us out. Everybody I talked to was like, "Oh man, Buccaneers go beat that ass. Tom Brady, man, you never count him out. Don't ever bet against Brady. Don't bet against Brady. Bet against him.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
took him
yeah,
out.
yeah,
This
yeah.
might be his last game, man. And
You think it might be his
we,
last game?
yeah, we did it. We shut him down, man. That
Okay.
boy couldn't do nothing.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian seemed excited about it last night. Adrian is the type of
Hey,
person.
sister-in-law, I know she was happy last night.
Oh yeah, she the type of person. I think she'd be the one in church watching the football game. You know,
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
everybody in there saying amen, and she's saying it delayed, but not
Yeah.
because of what the preacher's saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes pastor be in there talking that bull. I ain't gonna hold y'all. And then, you're trying to get up out of there, go watch the game, but pastor get a little long-winded sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, all right, Dallas. I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
This
So,
is
shout out to Dallas Cowboys, man. Salute, man. On to the next one, man. Let's take care of these 49ers.
okay. Okay, is that are they a bit of a threat or
They got a couple of people on there that we got to watch out for. I ain't gonna
they got a
lie.
nice
But
little squad?
yeah. But we can take care of them, man. If we play like we played last night, Super Bowl team right there.
Okay, well, shit, I ain't mad at it. More power to
Can't
them,
be,
then.
man. Can't be because this.
Let's,
Hey, we looking legit out here, man.
okay, shit, let's go Dallas. Shit,
Big
I,
goddamn right. So come on,
I
let's go.
am
Let's
not.
go.
I am not mad at it, man.
And
Shit,
if
I
you
feel
are
like
if you're a hater of the Cowboys, put it in the comments so I can beef with you online.
they not if they are a hater, they're just fans. They just
That's what
a different
but I'm
kind
a
of
beef with
fan.
him anyway. I'm a beef with him. So say something. I got a rebuttal.
Okay, all right. Well, if you are an anti Cowboys fan, put it in the comments and let them know.
Yeah.
Shit, man, I feel like I'm still trying to catch up. Shit,
Yeah, man.
man, I did a Sweet 16 birthday party. Photography service.
Right. How'd it go?
And okay, so they had me booked from. All right, let me put it like this: I was booked
Yeah.
for 5 hours. 5 hours from 5 until whatever that is. Was that 9, 10? But when I got the itinerary from the event coordinator, this was a big thing, like some shit you see like on MTV. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It was big. They did it. They really went in on it. But the event coordinator had sent me the itinerary through email, and it was like, oh yeah, photographer needs to be there at 4, and the party don't end until midnight. So
Cool.
I was like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I got there at 4. And I caught all the pictures of the decorations and all. I mean, this shit was dope. Like the girl, I've been working with this client for like 3 years. So
Yeah.
the girl who turned 16, I've been taking photos of her since she was 13.
Yeah.
because she's in the like model. She's like a super creative, like old soul. Like
Yeah.
listens to she be listening to like Sade and shit like that. You
Hey,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Hey, that's what I'm
Oh,
talking about. Sade's some
not
good music, man.
not hating at all, but like she's
That's a
into
good
like
time.
dreamy imagery and stars and lights and shit like that. So like the way the decorations and stuff was set up was like the tables had like these cotton balls around it with jars of lights in them. So
Yeah.
the glow through the lights so look like lit up clouds.
Yeah, that's dope.
And then she had like the backdrop where her table was, like, you know how you go to a wedding reception and the bridal party sitting at the front,
Yeah.
or the bride and the groom are sitting at the front, however they do
Yeah,
it.
they usually sitting up kind of higher than everybody, or just
And
yeah,
basically on the far end of the room. Well,
right.
she had her own little section like that, and it was a throne with some like shoes on top and a rose bouquet.
Fancy.
Yeah, and then they had like these balloons that was lit up. It was like all blue and shit in there, like lit up. It was dope as fuck. But anyhow, I caught all the decorations. Then I went and caught some pictures of her in her dress before she actually walked in, because it was like her entrance was like this grand entrance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when she came in, they did like a father-daughter dance. And,
okay.
like just all this other extra stuff.
So they basically had like a black quinceañera.
Yeah, basically, because I worked those too, and this is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But long story short, shit, I was gonna try to tough it out till midnight. Shit, 9 rolled around, and everybody was on the dance floor, and now you can only take so many pictures of people dancing. So I walked up to the mom and I was like, "Yo, is there anything else you need from me?" And she was like, "Nah, we good." I was like, "All right, I'm gone. Shoot, I can't hang like that no more, man. I'm getting too old for that shit."
Nah, man, ain't no such thing as getting too old, man.
No. When you on your feet that goddamn long, nah.
Yeah, man, but you had other stuff to do though, man. You had did your day job. You did all kind of other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I did a photo shoot earlier that morning.
See, that's what I'm saying. You was doing other stuff.
What did I do? Oh, I did this one of Adrian's coworkers, her daughter is turning 4 next week, and she's like 3 years old. She's turning 4, whatever. But she's like the most beautiful little girl I ever seen, man. She had like this big afro.
Yeah.
And I guess she got like this, she was very photogenic. So like every time the camera came out, she was already ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like telling her, like, she listened well, she cooperated, she didn't put
having a good old time.
Yeah, and then like towards the end, I guess she was getting a little not antsy, but kids can only take so much.
Oh, yos, man, they get pussy.
We was at Buffalo Bayou Park, which is right outside of downtown, and they had an ice cream truck there. So the mom was like, "Shit, you want some ice cream?" She was like, "Yeah." She said, "Take these last pictures." Shit, I ain't never seen a girl straighten up so damn quick, man. But man,
that's all it takes sometimes, man. You got to bribe these kids, man.
Nah, I told the mom, I told her the joke that shit, that's what I do to get Adrian to straighten up.
You want some ice cream? You want some ice cream? We get it done.
Right. So, but nah, man, that's just been it. It's just been busy and shit. I'm about to get back into it with these school photos. I done locked down another karate school.
That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. It's
gonna be a big thing, dog. Just it's snowballing right now, man. That ball gonna keep getting bigger.
Oh, it's gonna grow. Like it's gonna grow fast this year.
Yeah.
I see it's a fail-safe strategy. Like
right.
It's good. You know what I'm saying? So that's just been pretty much up on my end. And I hadn't really been paying attention to like none of the pop culture, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I did see that. Well, did you know that they put out a new House Party movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't have high expectations. Huh?
I didn't either. I mean, okay, LeBron already messed up a movie that really wasn't that great, but it's iconic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He already messed up Space Jam. So you thought he was gonna do with this?
I mean, I didn't really expect it to be. It wasn't so much LeBron for me. You know what I mean? It's more like, to me, it's more like, what was the purpose of remaking it?
It wasn't necessary. It wasn't needed.
Yeah, like
if you love House Party, just go watch it.
just go watch the original House Party. And like I know, and don't get me wrong, like I know that it's not supposed to be exactly like the movie, but like I
True
just
enough.
feel like sometimes these remakes, I feel like these remakes are designed to try to capture that essence to the audience that grew up with it,
But
and
this,
maybe try to introduce it to a younger audience with a different spin. But it's too different,
you can't.
too big of a generational gap
You
to
can't.
really
Yeah.
make
No,
it
leave
work.
it
You know
where
what
it
I
was,
mean?
man.
Yeah, because I remember they tried that shit on Boomerang. I don't know if you remember they tried to remake Boomerang into a TV series.
What I never seen it. But I
Okay,
remember when
well,
they tried to do it, but I never saw it.
okay, well, for all who know, if you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of that movie. Boomerang's probably my favorite movie of all time. Like I
Yeah.
fucking love that movie. I know it. I could hear it playing in the background, recite the lines, and not even be looking at the screen.
Yeah.
But they remade it on BET, and you could kind of tell where they were using certain things from the movie and try to insert it into the show, like they did on
Right.
Bel Air. Remember on Bel Air how they would take the episodes and then flip it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Boomerang tried to do that, but it just wasn't as good. And I feel like it was because they pushed a lot of politics into the show. You
Right.
know, like as far as like the Me Too movement, you know, the Pride movements, and all these other things
Mm-hmm.
that kind of really didn't pertain to what the core of the story was about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Kind of like Velma.
And I can kind of see, oh yeah, I'll get on that in a little bit. I can kind of see, and I can kind of see why they tried it, because I mean, at the end of the day, Marcus was a womanizer and all
Right.
that other stuff. So like you could try to insert that story. But like when you insert that story, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, it was like, don't put it up here. Just kind
Right.
of touch on it a
But
little bit.
even though he was a womanizer in the movie, the women wanted it.
Yeah, and well, and those are different times too.
Right, but I'm
So
just saying
you got
those
to think
women,
about that.
what happened every time he came to work in the morning? All the
Oh, they
women,
was all
he couldn't get to his office without every woman.
yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Graham. Good morning, Mr. Graham. Good
And
morning,
so
Marcus. Yeah.
okay, and so in the show that they did say that, because it wasn't about him, you know, it was about their kids.
Okay.
So like Marcus and Halle Berry's characters had gotten
Had
married
kids.
and had a
Okay.
kid,
That's
and
wild.
then Robin Gibbons' character had a son. So they
Okay.
had a daughter, she had a son. So they were the ones working in advertisement and stuff like that,
And they
and trying to
kids
find their
started
little way.
banging.
And they started messing around and all that. I mean, I only got into about maybe 3 episodes, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, I tried to give it a chance, but it just couldn't do it for me. Like
Some things don't stick all the time, bro.
it don't. And I mean, I was excited about it because I'm just like, oh shit, Boomerang.
It's
You know?
Boomerang, yeah.
But it wasn't nothing like what we know Boomerang to be. Like it didn't have, like I said, I wasn't expecting to be the same thing, but it just didn't have that same, like, you know, that flavor that,
man, sometimes
that made you like it.
Stuff that was made back in that time, in that era, it was just magic. The way they all came together, because now, like we talked about, stuff don't have soundtracks no more. Soundtracks have made a big deal out of the shows and the movies and everything like that. They don't have that. The characters are pretty bland.
Well, even
they don't need to be there. It's just, why do it? Let's leave it alone, man.
I think it's a combination of things, man. Not just the characters. Well, I wouldn't say the characters, but the acting, right? Like the acting is a little flat.
Right.
The writing can be a little flat, you know what I'm saying? And the storyteller can be just a little bit overbearing at times. So it's just like, yeah,
and now it's all about cameos of these YouTube and internet sensations and whatnot. They just throw them all in a movie for no reason.
And I can't necessarily be mad at that part of it, because cameos were a big deal when we were coming up.
No. We talking about cameos of people that you don't even know. It's just, you just know they on the internet. But their purpose inside the movie means nothing. At least when we saw cameos in other movies and stuff back in the day, it felt good.
Well, but see, here's the thing you got to think about. Like I said earlier, it's 2 different generations we're talking about. So like these YouTubers and all that, to these young kids, these motherfuckers are celebrities. Like King King Bach. What's his name? King Batch, King Bach. Uh, uh, I don't know any of the others. He's the only one that I see kind of like most of the time in a lot of shit. But like these guys are celebrities to them. These internet comedians. What's the one DC Young Fly and all of them? Like them kids know them. I don't know nothing about none of them. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really be mad about that part, but I do understand what you mean in terms of like just having them in there just to be in there, not really.
Yeah, it's just for the sake of having them there,
fulfilling a role.
They add nothing to the story or whatever. They just there.
Yeah. Oh man, but they've been doing that for a long time now.
But I'd rather them just be a black background player or whatever. Or if you do come in and be a one-liner, but they making them to where they're part of the movie, but it doesn't continue with the story.
Oh,
there's no continuity with the story.
Oh no, that's for marketing purposes. Trailers,
right? That's all it is. You put them in a trailer and that's it. But they try to find
like
they get 900 of them and put them in the movie, and then they feel like we got all of these people here, but they say 1, 2, 3 lines and you never see them again.
But I have to say I will say they have been doing that for a long time. Okay, remember the Scream franchise?
Yeah,
Drew Barrymore, Jada Pinkett, Omar Epps. Remember, all of them motherfuckers was on the movie posters.
Yeah,
but they only that was
they died for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
So I mean, I from a marketing standpoint, all right, whatever. But like,
okay, but at the same time on screen,
story-wise is dumb. On
screen, they shit. Some of it was dumb because they were killed for no reason. But at least you still had an ongoing story.
Yeah.
After they died,
like they were actually a part of the story. Right. Like with Drew Barrymore, she was a classmate that went to school with Sydney.
She was started it off. She set it off.
Yeah. She set up the entire franchise. You know, fucking around eating popcorn and watching a scary movie. You know, so
and talking to some complete stranger on the phone, answering questions for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? She did all of that.
That's the. I don't want to say that's the unrealities of movies. But I don't know. Maybe somebody really do be doing that shit in real life. Who
knows, bro? But I'm just saying.
But all I'm saying is somebody
until he said something or whatever. Like he said he asked her what she was wearing or something. Or he made a compliment about her clothes, and that's when it got real. But you was like, you've been on the phone with this nigga for 20 minutes.
Just imagine if she was black. She'd have looked at that call ID and kept walking.
I don't know who this is.
the movie would have never happened. The movie would have never happened. She'd have looked at call ID. That'd have been it. Shit, that's unknown number. Fuck that.
Or at best, should have started 69 that motherfucker.
Nah, I don't think she'd have started. That'd have been before call ID.
That'd have been right back.
Call ID. That'd have been before call ID, but call ID was out there.
But say you call it back and be like, hey, who is this? Because now when you start 69 and whatever, they don't have your number.
And then that motherfucker got that creepy ass voice too. So the first time he say anything, he can't even get a syllable out now.
Don't know this.
Nah, that ain't wrong number. My bad, fam. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. But yeah, I guess back to the point, man. It just seems like the remakes are starting to become too much now.
They are, man.
Like
they unnecessary.
I don't want to call them unnecessary. If you're gonna make a remake, make a movie that's worth remaking. You know,
just make a movie and don't use the franchise name for it. Like if that's the movie you want to make, fine, just make the movie, but don't call it House Party.
Well, shit, House Party been doing that. Remember, they did one. They did ever since House Party 3 wasn't really my favorite.
With Immature.
One. Yeah, I mean, I watched it because I remember one of the dudes just being like just a bunch of buster ass naggers, like I remember saying shit like that. But I mean, it had its moments, but like it just didn't capture the essence of the first and second one. But remember, they had a fourth one. I think they had one with like Marcus Houston.
And then they end up having another one with the boy from Everybody Hates Chris.
Right, and Kid and Play made a cameo in that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, the house party don't really get no good after part 2. But that's not.
After the second one, just leave it alone. They tried though.
But even in that though, like those weren't necessarily remakes. Those were just literally sequels, albeit shitty sequels. They were sequels, so that I guess they still to some degree continued on with the house party story. But this here is just like something completely different. But
I mean, you got to go into it with a sense of being completely unrealistic and whatnot. But they just started doing all kind of stuff. So whatever. So at one point, they actually go to the Illuminati. They go see the Illuminati.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Kid Cudi's in the movie, and they go see the Illuminati. They looking for LeBron James, one of his championship rings.
Oh, and the movie. Did you see it?
No, I saw reviews. I refused to watch.
Okay. See, I watched the reviews too. Yeah.
And but still, the plot is they leave because somebody steals LeBron's championship running the rings, and they like, oh, I know where to go get it, and the Illuminati has a copy of everything, so we need to go over there and holler at them to go get it. It's like, what was the purpose of putting that in the movie?
I don't know. I think LeBron is I know LeBron is eventually going to retire and getting more into filmmaking because he's been kind of doing it for the last like decade or so.
Yeah.
So I think that's just kind of him just wanting to be a part of some sort of media.
He's if this Illuminati is real or whatever, he's part of it. He's been with Jay and Beyonce there for a long time. He's part of it.
I did notice one thing when I saw the trailer of the house party that it was directed by, I think it's being directed or produced
by some dude that just only produce music videos.
No. Steven Glover, Donald Glover. I think he's Donald Glover's brother, who also worked on Dave and Atlanta. So
okay,
that's why I'm kind of like, I felt like I should have had higher expectations for it, but I didn't because I really enjoyed Atlanta. Atlanta was a good fucking show. I actually enjoyed Dave too. Dave was actually pretty good. It made me think about like Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a lot of people try to compare it to Atlanta, but it really wasn't the same.
No, yeah, I get the concept was completely different, but I just couldn't get into it.
Oh man, no, that shit was funny. No, that shit was funny. It was a good show. It had a couple episodes that I really enjoyed. I do hold that. I like Atlanta a little bit more, but yeah, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I don't know if it's ever coming back for another season. But just knowing that those guys had their hands on that movie, just you would think. Me personally, I would have thought it'd have been okay. But I also got to remember that it just because you're good in this medium doesn't mean that you're going to be good in that medium.
Right.
For instance. And I love Hype Williams to death. As a matter of fact, I love Belly to death.
Yes.
Great movie. But it's still like, yeah. I'm not going to even call it a dumb story. But what I will say is that it won't be able to hold a candle to like an Academy. You know what I'm saying?
Not the even story went nowhere. What you mean?
That's not what because I'm trying not to shit on the movie.
I'm not shitting on it. It's a good movie. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a good movie. I like the movie. I personally like the movie. And there's a lot of people who love the movie like that. But as far as the story wise, it was stupid.
It was okay. You know what? I'll agree with you there because it really was bad. Not bad storytelling. It was just.
It ended up nowhere.
It just didn't feel as creative as it could be. I think the movie was really more sold on the visuals, which is what Hype Williams is known for.
Visuals were perfect. The beginning, the opening scene, enough right there. That's enough.
Yeah. But yeah, my point is that Hype Williams can direct the fuck out of a music video, creatively. But movies, maybe he needs to put a little bit more work behind that. Same thing with Benny Boom. Benny Boom does great music videos, remember? But he also did Next Day Air. And I love Next Day Air. But again, to some of these other movies, done by more seasoned directors, and I'm not trying to shit on Benny Boom because he's a great director. He still needs to work on his craft a little bit in that realm. So maybe Steven Glover just wasn't it for movies. Maybe he needs to stick to TV.
He gave it a shot. All I'm saying is,
and that's all you can do.
Yeah, and it's fine, but but people need to learn how to take criticism and call it a day. Because eventually it's gonna turn into, oh, y'all hating on another black man that made a black movie and
Yeah.
this. No, it's not that. It's just a movie. Whatever.
Not everything is good, and that's okay. It's okay for people to not like. I don't understand that. Like, just because one person doesn't agree with you, don't mean that is hating.
Right. It's just, if it's not good, it's just not good.
If the movie is trash, if the music is trash, if the fucking
TV
is trash,
every review I saw, they was like, this ain't it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess especially when it comes to black movies, like, what are good black movies now?
Sometimes Tyler Perry.
Sometimes Tyler Perry.
Most of the Tyler Perry movies that don't have Madea in it.
I was just about to say anything that doesn't have Madea in it. Because at least the more serious stories, like Family That Prays, was a good fucking movie. That movie was good as hell. We talked about Sanaa Lathan on that one.
Right. But I was watching a parody of Why Did I Get Married? And I forgot those were Tyler Perry movies. Those were good too.
They were? Shit, so. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. I thought the first one was better though. The first one
was better.
The second one was a little I mean, Janet Jackson played that part, but I was just kind of like, that was a little.
I hated the fact that she had the happily ever after she got that man killed, bro. That was kind of fucked up.
I know, right? It was kind of fucked up, but like, I mean, I guess those are the only movies going. But like, even watching those, they just don't. I don't know. It's just they don't have it like they used to, man. I just feel like that.
I don't know who did The Harder They Fall. I enjoyed that one though.
Harder They Fall was good. That was a different type of black cinema.
Right.
You don't really see a lot of black westerns. Yeah, that was actually, that one was pretty good, man. I enjoyed that, and I'm not a big fan of westerns like that, but nah, it was cool, man. Yep. What's his face?
Good, huh?
Did I freeze up? One of us froze up. We're gonna come back. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. Come on. There you go. Back in the game.
Yeah. We're back.
Nah, one of my favorite characters on there was definitely like it was probably either between Cherokee Bill or Trudy. What was her name?
You talking about the light skinned Trudy?
Regina King.
Was she Trudy?
Yeah, she was the bad girl, the bad chick.
She was, but I can't remember if she was Trudy or not. But yeah, she was dope.
She was dope. Yeah, her and Cherokee Bill was the coolest one in the coolest ones in the movie to me. But all in all, yeah, it was pretty damn good. Well, I mean, I thought The Photograph was a pretty good movie, but that's kind of like if you into some like, Love Jones type shit. You know what I'm saying?
And I just never I didn't catch wind of it. So it's not a movie that I was just like drawn to or whatever to feel like
it's you got to think about the old black rom-com. I wouldn't even call it a rom-com. It was more like I say, it was really kind of like a Love Jones.
Which is cool, but they don't make movies like that to where, okay, like in the black community, we have movies that you just have to watch if you black.
I know, and I ain't gonna lie.
They don't make movies.
I probably haven't seen them all. I haven't seen them all.
I'm pretty sure I haven't either, but still, it's just certain movies. It's like they on the list. You have to just know about them. So, but they don't make them like that no more.
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. Like that. I don't know. I feel like that golden era was probably like in the 90s, all the way up until like 2003.
Yeah,
because you had like let's see. You had like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. You had Above the Rim. You had Boomerang. You had
shit. You had your Love Jones. You had
Love
Brown
Jones.
Sugar.
Jason's
Yeah, Brown Sugar.
Love Jones. The Wood. Shit. What was that other one? It was one that I just had on my mind, and it's like it's gone. But even some of the lower budget
like
black
The Best
movies was kind
Man,
of
all of those. Yeah.
oh yeah, of course. We fucking just talked about
You're
that.
right.
Yeah, that no, what was even like some of the lower budget movies were pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
Woo. Remember Woo?
Yeah, Woo, Low Down Dirty Shame.
Low Down Dirty Shame. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah, Set It Off.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Set It Off. And
Yeah.
of course, anything that was named after a fucking Terry McMillan book, like Waiting to Exhale, was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's just like, you know, those are titles that people can hear and just be like, man, I remember that. Like even kids today probably could watch that and be like, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
What's love got to do with it?
What's like The Temptations, 5 Heartbeats.
Oh man, nothing gives me the feeling that I feel when I watch the 5 Heartbeats.
That's one of my tops, dog.
It's something about those movies. It's something about that movie that just was special, man.
Yeah.
I call that
Purple.
the Robert.
That's one of them black movies you just have to watch.
I never seen The Color Purple. I get shitted on for never seeing it. So I keep telling myself, man, one of these days,
Purple Rain.
I never seen Purple Rain. I never seen any of the Prince movies.
Well, okay, so
Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon.
You really didn't miss nothing because Purple Rain is every Prince music video as a movie. And then there's some dialogue in between it.
Do I want to watch that shit?
Yes.
I mean, it's
because
Prince.
And I'm telling you, yes, and it's not because of Prince. You're gonna enjoy the music. That's fine. Morris Day is in the movie, and that is hilarious.
Morris Day is true. Yeah.
If you ever seen I want to see a funny villain, watch.
So, I got a question about Prince though. How is it that every dude always get the pass with Prince?
What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean? If you ever pay attention to any nigga that talk about Prince, especially a motherfucker that met Prince.
Yeah,
they always get real suspect. You know what I'm saying? When they start talking about Prince, but they always call it's always like a pass. Why is that?
I don't know what you mean. Like it's suspect.
Like some dudes, because some dudes would be like, man, I met Prince at such and such, and they'd be like, man, I couldn't look him in the eyes because I started feeling like a bitch. Like
if they seen him, yeah. Because it's Prince, dog. He got that aura, man.
I don't want to be around no nigga like that if it's gonna
Some
be
people
like
just got that aura, dog.
Nah, fuck that. I guess even Charlie Murphy.
Some people just got it, man. And I don't mean it. I don't think niggas was looking at him like, or just it was just more of like how big he was. Like,
yeah, no, he was definitely.
It'll blow your mind. And then when you finally meet this person, you don't know what to say. You're trying to act cool, but you're not trying to be too standoffish. You're trying to do all this stuff, and then when they start talking to you, man, what the hell you gonna say?
That's because Prince was probably kind of. I would compare Prince to like a George Carlin or a Dave Chappelle or somebody like that. I know that Prince was like super duper down to earth, you know.
From what everybody it says, yeah.
You know, even from what you see, even when you watch him in interviews and stuff like that,
yeah,
you can tell that he's not really a sociable person. He's like socially awkward, very humble, very introverted.
He's really into politics, and
I wouldn't even call it politics. I wouldn't even call it politics. He was just very, very, very aware of everything that was going on around.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, like, I see why he got so much respect, because not only was he talented in his music, not only did he spread messages through his music, but he was just a real dude. Like, and people was just fucking with it. He just happened to what Charlie Murphy say, the hottest motherfucker around, look like a bitch. I mean, he just happened to wear blouses, high heels, and perfume. So
and he'll take your bitch in a heartbeat. So
and still get your chick. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that can be a little intimidating. You know,
it's a weird thing. You kind of don't know how to react to none of that shit, man.
Yeah,
especially if you get your ass whipped in basketball while he's wearing blouses.
I mean, it take a lot of balls to tell a story to be like, man, look,
It happens. You can't just act like it didn't happen.
Yeah. Like you just gotta take that L and just be like,
gotta take that L. And the world needs to know about it.
I'm just saying, but can you imagine like after that game, like not even him telling the story, like telling it to like one of his partners like the next day, just kind of like, yeah, man, what's y'all was into last, man? Played basketball, man, got our ass whooped. Man, who whooped your ass?
Prince. But yeah, man, but happening. No, we not gonna skim over there.
No, wait, who you say? Who you say?
Prince. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, but nah, that would be a hell of a fucking story to tell. It'd be more fucked up. He said Michael Jackson.
It is what it is, man.
I don't know, but I am led to believe that Michael Jackson never had that high pitched voice.
There's supposedly like video or audio of him actually talking.
I'm just saying
it's not that high pitched.
Look, all I'm saying is Michael Jackson, he got brothers.
Yeah.
He got a daddy. All his brothers, when they talk, I mean, except for Jermaine still, I don't know what the fuck Jermaine's still trying.
I think he had some surgery on his nose to make himself sound like that.
Jermaine on some other shit.
I don't know, man. That dude's hair always bothered me. I didn't know what he was trying to do with it.
Jermaine looked like a melted candle. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't know what he was trying to do with his hair, bro. I couldn't quite understand.
Because he was whatever he was doing was way before Beijing even was a thing. Like,
yeah, right.
It was like he took a plastic square and just like set it on, like lit it and let it. You know how plastic is shiny?
Yeah.
And like if you touched his hair, like you would just get tar all over your hand.
I don't know, man. It was strange.
But needless to say, listening to all of the brothers and stuff talk, like Michael Jackson, I just can't believe he had that high pitched voice. Like
that. Man. It was all this for show.
Well, either that or psychological damage, but
possibly.
Whatever. I mean, because motherfucker literally been in show business his entire life.
Yeah, of course, man. That'll fuck you up. Get that boy Orlando Brown, man. That dude is out of there.
Again?
Yes, all the time.
Well, I remember at one point in time he tried to sober up for a second, like a couple years ago. But I guess he must have. It didn't last long. So him and El DeBarge running neck and neck then. Shit, man, I think he just got in trouble for either weapon possession or drug possession or something like that. Because El DeBarge's been on and off of them drugs for years.
Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking of Orlando Brown, what is it about them damn Disney kids, man? What is Disney doing to them people?
They don't have a clean exit plan, dog. They don't ever just be like, hey, we need to get these kids in some kind of like get them back into society, into the real world. Like they have to be under Disney's thumb the entire time they on contract.
You know what? I can't even say Disney. I would just say child stars, because it's always those who start off as children that always end up going down that weird path. And my crackpot theory on that is that
parenting.
Not even that. Not even parenting. Okay, like let's say you go into show business, right? You get super successful. Like let's say as an adult, you say by the time you're 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
You become a rapper or some shit like that. Yo, life changed just all of a sudden. You're making all kind of money. You're traveling the world. You're doing all these different things, right?
Yeah.
Money is in a way sort of like freedom. You can kind of go buy your way into doing have a lot of experiences doing stuff like that. In your 20s, whatever, you can probably enjoy life. Like say for instance, you had a real successful, lengthy career.
Right.
You can enjoy the fruits of your labor for a very, very, very long time and do just about any and everything. So by the time you're done, let's say over maybe like a 20-year span, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time those 20 years pass by, you start realizing like, okay, maybe life ain't all about this shit. I'm ready to cool the fuck down. I done everything. Like I'm gonna just chill. I feel like with kids, I think it's a little bit different because they start so young. And so they have all of those life experiences up until they're, 18, 19, 20.
Right.
So now it's kind of like, well, shit, what the fuck else am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? But you at an age where you're supposed to be at this point sowing your wild oats and stuff like
Right.
that. But
Trying to figure
hell, you done
life
done
out and
everything.
whatnot.
Hell, you done smoked your first joint when you was fucking 11. So like, all you can do now is just party. Try to find a way to find the next big experience to kind of give you some sort of, I guess, fulfillment. And now you done turn to drugs, alcohol, and all this other shit. Now your life done went into shambles. That's what I think happens with
Well, I
child
mean,
stars.
you got the parents.
Most of them, anyway.
You got the parents who just like, okay, well, the kids are making the money, so yes, go to this party. You can do what the fuck you want to do. As long as the check come in and we handle the money, cool. We do all of that. They all get ripped off by their parents. They realize the parents doing all this shit. They emancipate themselves from the parents, and then now the money is theirs, and they are pretty much on their own at a young age. And now, who's gonna tell them what to do? They the one making the money. So they just kind of go on with life like that, and so there's no strategy for it. Because I believe like with the NBA and in the NFL, before these young men get into the league, they need to take a financial course.
Oh shit, they need to take a life course.
True enough.
Like a sort of adjustment.
Yes,
process.
They need to be adjusted before they actually get in there. Because because with the NBA, you was able to go at 18. Straight out of high school, you was able to go to the NBA. So one day you sitting at home and the next day you got millions of dollars. They don't know how to handle that shit. NFL, majority of them, they start getting in around 22, 23 years old. That's still young. You can't be just throwing millions of dollars at somebody like that and expect them to handle it properly.
Yeah.
And, maneuver in the world either. So, yeah, they need life coaching.
I think they need life coaching, but at the end of the day, and it's funny because I was just watching my expert opinion like shortly before we got on, and they were talking about that in rap and like how they was talking about like all that Illuminati, weird shit and what do you do to get into the game or whatever. And some of these rappers was kind of like, nah, we done seen it, we ain't about that, but whatever. But my point is that I think that companies like NFL, NBA, record labels, so on and so forth, at the end of the day, and this is what they were saying, is that when somebody approaches you to sign a deal or something like that, they coming at you like a friend, but at the end of the day, they just businessmen disguised as a friend. So what they see is just an investment. They see your talent. When the world starts to take notice of you, they like, oh, that's an influencer. That's what they want. They want your level of influence. They don't want what you bring to the table. You know what I mean?
Like you can have no talent at all, but they just like, we can make money off of this motherfucker.
Well, no, you can have the talent. I'm not saying that. They're saying you can have the talent, but even at the end of the day, like if I sign you to this record contract, we're just basically trying to use your influence to turn you into a cash cow so we can bank off of you, bank off the back of your success. And maybe that's what the NFL and NBA do too. It's just like, shit, let me go ahead and throw you a couple $1 million so you can get out there and, show off on the field and so on and so forth. And then, we use you up. And then after that, you're done. If you get hurt, bye.
That's why like the rookie contract in the NFL is 3 years. And after that, then you can renegotiate. So now you got to play extremely hard in your first 3 years to be able to get a max contract. Once you finally get that max contract, you pretty much beat and banged up and whatnot. So you got a couple of more years under your belt before your next contract is up. By that time, you're going from team to team because you didn't have knees blown out, ACLs, all kind of shit, shoulders bust open, all kind of shit. So yeah, by that time they're like, okay, we've used you up. Here you go on about your business, and you just pick up the next cat.
So that's all it is. They just see you as an investment. And I was actually at a friend's house last night. And they were talking about basketball and football and all this other stuff. I don't really watch a lot of sports, but they were kind of bringing up some of the politics that go into it. Like they were saying, like there's some players who could take teams to the championship.
Yeah,
they could, but they don't because they realize their worth. So like, if you sign me onto a team and I'm a franchise player, I'm gonna take you to the league. I'm gonna take you to I want to take you to the finals, but if you want me to take you to the finals, I need that bread. I think they said James Harden was like one of them type of players. They said that he's very talented at what he does, but he chooses not to do it. He just kind of more so riding the wave because it's just like, shit, y'all niggas not paying me enough. So until I get my money, then I'm a give it all I got.
Yeah,
you know.
he will play like trash until he get what he wants.
And then he can be like, no, all right, now let me show y'all niggas how I can ball. So that shit, you know, that was mind blowing to me because I forget that behind every industry, there's always going to be some sort of backdoor
it's entertainment
shit going on. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, I know that's all it is entertainment, but it just goes to show like how powerful fucking money is, man. And like how, you know what I mean? Like how it runs the world and you know, how people will do whatever it takes to get it, and how some people know their worth, and they only gonna give you so much before
they give you full.
Take it before they give you their full. Even like hearing shit like that is like you hear like at the regular 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Except that it's just more money.
Yeah.
So but my point being is that the motherfuckers don't care about none of them. And it's at the end of the day, it's just all about how much money they can make off of you. So they gonna definitely inject all this money into you, market you, repackage you, brand you, and then put you out there and you know, do your thing. So I guess that kind of posed the question though, because I was thinking about that earlier watching that Math Hoffa thing. Like would it be better to go independent or would it be good? Like if you had the choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you come off the streets, you've never seen, let's say like $200,000 at one time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is a lot of money. You know, let's not get it twisted. It is a lot of money, especially coming from nothing. If a record label is like, hey, I want to give you $200,000, you sign this record deal, and we can turn you into the next big star, right?
Right.
Like, I'm just trying to think, would that be a sound decision to make, or would you rather keep on your independent grind?
It's not a sound decision to make, but the difference is if you were independent, in order for them to even come at you or whatever, you'd seen 200,000 at a time. You got to think about everything that was going on in Houston. Everybody was independent. They was making buku money. They were fine with just making the money in the South because it was all their money. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to do nothing. So yeah, they seen all of that money. But when you get into the label, you got so many pockets you got to fill from the record label, the pressing, your agents, all of this shit. You got all of these people, the A&Rs,
studio time, tours,
all that studio time, all the shit that they pay for. They got to recoup that money and then start making a profit. So you only getting a little bit.
All it is just a bank loan, basically.
Yeah, so
you know that advance.
Why not stay independent? So yeah, it wouldn't make sense to do it. But if you are somebody who just want to make the quick money and don't want to be in it too long, yeah, go ahead and take their money. But you just go owe them for the rest of life.
I don't think I would ever want to sign. If I was in the rap game, I would never want to sign a record deal. Now, a distribution deal, I'd probably jump on that because at the end of the day, that is the machine that can kind of get your music out there. But all they're literally doing is just distributing the music.
Yeah, so, but then your contract just has to be right.
Yeah, your contract just got to be right, you know, and you may not see a lot there, but, you know, say, for instance, if the album is like a fucking classic album, then you know you good. The only thing about the distribution thing is that you have to worry about I guess that would be more in the recording contract, is your publishing and your masters and all that stuff. I think that would be more of a recording contract.
But see, like Master P always talked about this or whatever. Him and his brother went on a plane, go meet up with somebody on a meeting and whatnot. And they offered them like $1 million to get started, and then they was gonna work on all this other stuff, and they only had like $1,000 in their pocket. And Pete shut it down. And on their way home, his brother was, you know, man, what the fuck, man? That was $1 million. He was like, if they offered me $1 million, I know I'm worth at least 3.
Yeah, because they trying to
take yours. So he was like, well, I could just go do it myself and make the 3.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, that made sense.
That's 100% true. But yeah, but man, I mean, record labels are they're so calculated with it now because they know what it takes to turn somebody into a star, use what they got and spit them out and throw them away. That's why them record labels, the new artists that be signing on be getting the most shitty ass deals. That 360 deal,
now they ain't nothing but cookie cutters, bro. They could get a dime a dozen for anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that what is it, the 360 deal?
Yeah.
But basically you start off you end where you start off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I call it the McDonald's deal. The only way I can really see an artist really getting a really good label deal is if they got. I mean, of course, it would be their influence, but they would have to have like severe, like stupid, crazy mass appeal.
Yeah,
Like let's say like Adele,
yeah.
the little white chick, phenomenal singer, really good. I can't see her getting a shitty deal. She may, but I just somehow can't see it happening
No, they go treat her
because
right.
she's too good. You know what I'm
They
saying?
go treat
But
her right.
when it come to these rappers, man, I'm just like these little popcorn rappers.
But why not though? I can have. Okay, cool. You didn't like the contract I gave you? Cool, quit. I got 9 million more waiting in line.
Yep, that's
That
all they got
look
to
just
do.
like
Shit.
you, sound just like you. All we got to do is get them tatted up, change their hair a
Yeah,
little bit, put on some tight ass clothes, talk about some whatever the fuck they talk about nowadays,
yeah.
and call it a day. It's the same thing, just the next man up.
But as far as talking about the South, I know you touched on that earlier about how like they were all independent. I think that was actually really good because it really did kind of show them how to do work ethic. But the other thing about recording contracts is that not every artist is not fit for every label.
No,
Like when Slim Thug got signed to Star Trek, it was
yeah,
just like
it just
I see
it
what
wasn't his
Pharrell was
style.
doing. I see what Pharrell was doing because Houston was popping at the time.
Yes,
Lil Flip
let
was
me let
out
me grab
there.
one of their artists and
Yeah.
try to throw them out there and see what we can get.
Lil Flip was out there. UGK had a run, and Slim Thug was like the next big name to blow.
Yeah,
So as soon as you know what I'm saying, Steel Tipping and all that shit came out. Pharrell was like, shit,
let
got
me
him.
jump on that. Yeah,
I could put you
but
on the
his
track. I could put you on the
his
track with
his
Jay-Z and
sound
all these
just
other
didn't
people.
fit.
He just they didn't mesh up well, man. Like Slim Thug was much better with fucking Swisher House. You know what I'm saying? Like
And made more money.
and made more money. So I think that's the other thing to think about. Like it's almost like MMG, Maybach Music. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with Stally,
Yeah,
tall dude with the
yeah,
beard.
yeah.
Him and Wale, I never felt like they were a good fit for MMG because it was two
Wale
different.
Wale is dope as shit, and he should have been somewhere else.
He should have been somewhere else, and I hate to label him as a backpack or a conscious rapper, but that's the kind of shit he was more so on. Just like
Yeah,
Stally, Stally was on that shit too. Like Rick Ross and Meek Mill and all them. Okay, yeah, they on that street shit. But like I felt like Stally and Wale I never felt like they were a good fit for MMG. And I think I honestly think that's why their careers didn't necessarily take off like they should have. Because like you
yeah,
said, Wale is dope as fuck. That boy can
yeah.
spit. That Stally dude was nice too, believe it
I
or not.
like him and his voice and some of the tracks he picked to spit on. He sounded like he was straight from the South, so I kind of listened
Oh
to
yeah,
him a lot
yeah.
more.
Oh, he loved that Houston shit. They call
Yeah,
it, but and he from like I think he from like Ohio or some shit like that.
I don't know exactly. That's one, but he had that feel like he would have fit in down here real easy.
But yeah, but he also came out in an era where everybody was kind of appreciating that Houston sound too.
Yeah,
Like Kendrick did it for a little while. Remember Drake was all over it. But then yeah, Stally did it, with a couple of songs. Shit, Stally did one joint with over a DJ Quick beat.
yeah.
What was it called? Cowboys and spaceships and I can't remember exactly what it's called, but man, that shit went so fucking hard, man. And you can hear that DJ Quick,
Yeah.
you know
I'm
what
gonna,
I'm saying? That
I'm
little
gonna try to look
groove.
it up or whatever because I haven't heard none of his music in a while, and I
Oh
keep
yeah, go.
excuse me, I keep Wale on my playlist or whatever. So when I go to his station, I just jam and I can ride to that all
Yeah.
day long.
Oh yeah, man. People, man, they be sleeping on Wale. I gotta say it. I felt like he should have got way more. I mean, I knew his career. He was up there, but like
Yeah,
I felt like he could have gone higher.
yeah.
But and he still has a chance. He's still a young dude, so
But I mean, I
he
think
could come
some
out
of
with
them they
something.
start
But
to realize the business just what the business was, and then they just kind of didn't like it no more. Like T-Pain, he basically he killed the whole era for a long time, and then they just dumped him out. They was like, we don't need you no more. Get up, fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. Man, people get, man, the motherfuckers get anxiety and PTSD behind all that shit.
Yeah.
But that was another thing they were saying on my expert opinion. It was just saying, like, you know, that industry, that Hollywood, that shit is like it's shit. They say you think coke is a bad drug.
It's a drug.
Try fame, nigga. Like,
yeah,
fame.
You get this stupid amount of fame to where everything you touch turns to gold, and all of a sudden it's just done.
And when it's gone, you trying to do whatever it can to get
anything
you
can to get it back, and it just don't. You
spend the rest of your life doing it, and it don't work. So, like, yeah, that's it. I don't know. I felt like if I was to become successful in that sort of realm, I wouldn't want to be that famous. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be famous to the point to where I can't go outside and cut my grass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too much. You don't have a private life no more. Like, you under the public microscope and shit. I think I would be like I want to be like JB Smooth famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or no, better as I do a better example. I'm trying to think of somebody who I know the face and just don't know the name of them. Like, there's a lot of actors and actresses like that. You'll see him in the movie and be like, okay, like old buddy from Scrubs, the dude that's always smiling, the lead doctor, with the evil smile.
Yeah,
I don't know that man's name to save my life, but every time I see him, I'll be like, that's that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'd want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you know my name and you know everything about me, nah.
I just don't need niggas hiding in my bushes to take a picture of whatever's going on around. Like, when I'm just chilling, dog. Like, you gotta deal with paparazzi and whatnot.
That paparazzi
people
shit,
laying up under your car and shit. Like, you wanted to deal with that.
Man, you know what's crazy about that though? That paparazzi shit, and I guess that's just from being a photographer. I'm don't get me wrong, I don't want to do it by any means, but I be hearing them motherfuckers be.
Yeah, man, but
off them photos, man.
But at what cost though, dog? Like, that's the whole thing.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely some crazy shit. I wouldn't want to be it. I couldn't do it because that's to me, that's just way too much invasion of people's privacy.
Yeah,
you know, but they help. But if you think about it, they're the ones helping the media spread all the fucking rumors and news and all this other stuff. So
right, but I mean, come on, dog. Like, it be simple stuff in life that you just want to enjoy. You have your first child, and you're like, look, we just want to spend time with our baby for the first 6 months. Just give us 6 months, but within them 6 months, somebody want to know what that baby look like, and people gonna go out their way to take a picture of your child without your, acknowledgement, without your permission, whatever, just so they can make the money off of it.
Shit, that's why them celebrities be hiring them damn goons.
Yeah,
I saw one video. It was a YouTube video a while back. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce was in some country across, I don't know, somewhere far overseas. And this one guy, he was trying to do the paparazzi thing. He had a video camera and he was just following them everywhere they go. And so the security dude was like, yo, like, come on, man, they're trying to have a private moment, and it was so funny because you could hear Jay in the background like, hey, what's going on? And dude was like, man, this dude won't leave us alone. What you want me to do? And Jay was like, he said it's so cool. He was like, fuck him up. And like, you just see like the camera shaking around and shit like that. But I mean, I couldn't even be mad at it because I'm like, at the end of the day, these motherfuckers are human and they still want to be able to still have a life, outside of work and not having to be bothered about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're.
When I saw that clip of Oprah talking about the last time she went to the bank, she was like, yeah, I've been to the bank before. And then she was like, the last time I went, she was like, it was like a fun experience. Like, to her, going to the bank was fun because she ain't done it in so long.
See,
and they was like, how much did you deposit in there? She was like, I think it was like $1 million. Man, like, that's not normal.
I think Oprah's an antichrist.
Just might be.
Huh?
Just might be. Who knows?
I'm just saying, and I say that about anybody who gets like that kind of fame and worship. Like people worship Oprah.
Yeah.
Oh, because she gave people a bunch of cars. All right, y'all keep on. Y'all keep on.
Just saying, man. Y'all signed that dotted line.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I be trying to pay attention to that shit like that. Them motherfuckers ain't no good either though. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Man. So I was listening to De La Soul the other day.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Me, Myself, and I, the one of their most famous songs.
Right.
I finally really paid attention to what the fuck they were saying in the song. Pasta Noose, the one with the glasses.
Yeah.
That nigga said some slick ass shit, man, in that song.
So
of course it was his third verse. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. It was his second verse in the song. And so we all know what the song is about, right? De La Soul came out at a time when hip hop was I think it was very West Coast at the time. Like not like Snoop and Dre West Coast, but it was like Ice Cube NWA West Coast.
Yeah.
And everything was real street sounding and
what they call gangster rap. Yeah.
Right. So a little backstory while I look up these lyrics. They came out at a time when hip hop was very street. So they were kind of like the flower child, the hippies. They called themselves the Daisy, what was it? The Daisy age of music. What does Daisy stand for? The inner sound, y'all.
Yeah.
Because they were on some like African self-identity and all. They basically saying like, man, look, we understand that we're different, we're nerds. Like all the things that you're saying about us that you think is negative, like we already know this about ourselves. So like, I'm just still gonna be me, myself, and I.
We free.
But okay, so this is what he said. Glory, glory, hallelujah, glory plus for 1 and 2. But that glory has been denied by kids' ids and dookie eyes. People think they diss my person by stating I'm darkly packed. I know this, so I point at Q-Tip and he states black is black. So that was him saying like, people saying, oh man, you dark as fuck. It's like, nigga, I know, but black. Black is black. Mirror, mirror on the wall, shovel chestnuts in my path. Basically saying like, well, let me finish. Shovel chestnuts in my path. Please keep on up with the nuts so I don't get in aftermath. But if I do, I'll calmly punch them on the 4th day of July because they tried to mess with me 3rd degree, and that's just me, myself, and I. So basically what he was saying is like, all right, man, y'all keep fucking with me. You better hope these chestnuts get in the way. Something gonna need to hold me back. If I get a hold of your ass.
Yeah.
Like basically saying, don't let the look fool you. And I was like, that was like the most gangster shit I ever heard, man. Because like
people they always had some slick way to say some shit, but it just sounded cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was that. But being a kid listening to it, you didn't hear it.
It was just fun.
So when I was listening to it the other day, I was washing dishes and I said, "Wait, what this nigga say?"
Yeah,
but I rewind that shit like I ran it back like 5 times. I was like, "Damn, man, Pasta News was kind of gangster on that shit on that little track there." But I mean, you can't be fucking with these dudes just because they're a little different. Shit. Just because a nerd don't mean a nerd ain't got hands.
People learn the hard way. We see plenty of videos of that shit, man. With them boys, they be like, "Man, leave me alone, man." And then after that 3rd time, they're like, "All right, fuck it." And next thing you know, the dude on his back.
Yeah, that's like it's like R&B singers. All right, y'all keep fucking with them R&B singers. Y'all gotta remember them niggas still come from the project. I'm not the biggest Trey Songz fan by any means, but I remember seeing a video. I think you showed me this a long, long time ago, where he was on stage and he was singing, and he was, I can't help but wait. He was up there getting it right, and somebody threw water, a chair,
threw a water bottle up there.
That nigga said, "Cut the music." Who the fuck did it?
And that nigga said, "Hey, cut the music." Who the fuck threw that bottle?
that nigga dropped the mic and got in the crowd and went with it.
That nigga say it was him and then jumped out of the crowd.
I say, man, you can't be fucking with people, man, just because a motherfucker ain't soft because he's singing songs, nigga. Like
true enough. But I was talking to somebody about this shit the other day about where you from and shit, right? I don't know why people do that shit. They really try to use that as a scare tactic. This woman was talking shit to somebody or whatever, and she was like, I'm from New Orleans, you better recognize. And I'm like, why people do that shit? You're like, just because you're from New Orleans, you the baddest motherfucker on the planet? Why yelling out where you from means something?
But here's the question. But where are you right now?
Wasn't in New Orleans.
You ain't in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like a neighborhood is not gonna save you from getting your ass whooped just because you're from that neighborhood, and just because that neighborhood has a reputation doesn't mean you fit the demographic that's a part of that reputation. You know, but you know, like I said, the loudest person is always the weakest. So if you got to do all that to prove yourself,
Beaumont could be one of the dangerous places in the world, but that don't mean everybody in Beaumont is dangerous.
Yeah, it's of course.
I know plenty of cats that grew up in the same hood we grew up in that just wasn't about that life. That's where they from. You know what I'm saying? So it don't make no difference. Like, what the hell? You throwing it out there like that means something.
Maybe them words supposed to have fists with them, like when they come out. But I ain't ever seen that happen before. And the day I see that shit happen, shit, we're about to be friends. Goddamn it!
Shit. I'm just saying. I hear that so much or whatever, man. I'm from such and such, man. You know how we do it in the D, man. We know that, like, how y'all do what? What do y'all do in the D?
Yeah, everybody. But I say that all the time. Just because you come from the hood don't always mean you a hood nigga. You just happen to be a nigga from the hood. You know, everybody in the hood ain't the same. Everybody's not monolithic. Everybody ain't all on that rough and rowdy shit. As a matter of fact, a lot of them. As a matter of fact, it's actually a very select few people that really do be
a few, dog.
It's a very few. You know, and yeah, I mean, shit happens, unfortunately, but that shit happen anywhere. Yeah,
it can, man, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, but then that shit changes immediately once you get older, or whatever. I had a friend of mine. She asked me the other day. She said, "Man, we haven't talked in quite some time, man. Like damn near 19 years." And she was like, "Man, are you still violent?" And I was like, "No, man, I'm an adult now, man."
That's a hell of a question.
Well, I mean, but people remember shit like that or whatever. But at the same time, it changes. That's a small period of time, and it's only a small fraction of people that actually get out and do shit.
Yeah, I know, man. Just yeah, you're right. You know, but conflict is a stupid thing anyway. Like, like when you really sit back and think about it, you know, like it's the dumbest shit because it starts over little shit.
It starts over little shit and it lasts for a long time. And then sometimes, majority of the time when it's resolved, you realize like we could have just been cool this whole time.
Well, if you just talk the shit out, you could have talked out that disagreement and everything would have been okay. Like it could have been okay.
But then when you realize who they are, you're like, man, dude is actually pretty cool. Like we could have just been cool we could have been friends, hanging out this whole time.
That's because it's so hard. I don't know why, but it seems like mentally people feel like it's so much easier to be negative. And it is. It doesn't, you know, it feels easier, but it really takes a lot of energy to stay mad at somebody, to be mad at somebody. Because at the end of the day, like, say for instance, if I didn't like a person, I held this long grudge against somebody or something like that for whatever reason. Like, I could be going about my day just as free as ever, and then the moment I see that motherfucker, I'm just mad. Why the fuck did I just sit there and get mad? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point?
Ain't nothing happened.
That took any unnecessary energy just to sit there and frown at a motherfucker that I only saw for like 2 seconds and then go about my day.
But then you get home and be like, can you believe this motherfucker was in the store at the same house getting apples with me? The fuck kind of shit is that?
Man, I say it all the time, man. And this goes for anything. Whatever people hate each other for, whether it's race or money or sexuality. there's no need to be divisive about anything, because at the end of the day, the planet is a little place in a big ass universe, and guess what? The universe holds everything together. We can't be separated. The only thing that separates us physically is water. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be here together. So
Yeah.
why are we having all these fucking differences anyway? Like, I don't know. That shit don't make sense to me. But
yeah, but it's kind of a hard thing to spread around the world.
that's what. Yeah, I was talking to Adrian about it the other day. I said, if we could just all just get together, just light up one big ass blunt and just have a conversation, we'd be all right. Somebody, I was watching some podcast. Oh, I was watching Jon Stewart. I don't know if you ever watch any of his stuff. Check out Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart be on some. He kind of really be on some real. Yeah, I know you know who he is, but I just didn't know if you were familiar with any of his work. So he did an interview on Stephen Colbert. This is a while back. I don't know how long ago it was. It could have been this year, last year. I don't know, but I know it was recent because he was talking about the anti-Semitism things that Kanye and Kyrie Irving and Dave Chappelle has said on Saturday Night Live and wherever else they were talking their shit. And so, Jon Stewart is Jewish. And so he was joking about it, basically, saying like, at the end of the day, what's the point in me getting mad? Because at the end of the day, we all do live within these certain tropes and stereotypes of each other. These perception that we see, like we all know what they are. We all live them to a certain degree, but when for all of us who live it, we know that it's not 100% true. But what he was basically saying was like getting, telling these guys to shut the fuck up and bury it is not solving anything, and that's what the problem is in this country is like, if somebody says something offensive or one group of person has this view, one group of people has this sort of view on another group of people, instead of shutting them up and burying it, why not just get them together, actually talk about it? Let's get these opinions out and then keep talking until we find this common ground and then move forward. But instead we shut it up because people get so offended, you know what I'm saying? And then we try to move away from it as if the problem is going to go away. You can't, the problem can't go away if you don't solve it. You know what I'm saying? All we do is put a Band-Aid on it instead of actually like healing it. And so what he was basically saying was that you have to be able to go through the storm in order for things to progress. Like you grow stronger through the turmoil as opposed to like smoothing it over and then acting like it ain't never happened.
Yeah.
When we know the shit's just going to bubble the fuck back up. So, and I kind of rocked with that because I was like, it is true. Like, I don't care what group, culture, whatever you identify with. How can we move forward if we don't just have the conversation instead of staying clicked up by ourselves, complaining about everything that's going on? Why can't we all just mash up and push fast it? Now, I don't think it's ever going to happen because at least not in my lifetime.
We can't all do nothing together as a group anyway. I told you, we the only race that stay divided between everything. Everybody else stay with theirs. They be on one accord at all times.
Yeah, I mean they do, but I will say that they do to an extent, because they all still have their own little inner turmoils, and I learned that because I remember.
But they keep that shit behind closed doors too.
Not always. I remember working at this one job, my last job before I went full time with this, and I worked with a lot of Hispanic people, and so I remember this one, and she's a good friend of mine, so I'm not gonna say her name, but she's a Mexican girl, and she was talking about like Salvadorians as if they were like shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, shit. Isn't Salvador and Mexico like real close? Like, you know what I'm saying? El Salvador and Mexico real close. But like, my point is that everybody has their own little, like, from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem that way, but they just as fucked up as we are at the end of the day. They just,
I mean, true, and that's true. But what I'm saying is we get magnified on that shit whenever
I would say
we always have to do it in public.
I would say they conceal it better than we do.
Yeah.
But I've talked about that before too. But that the bottom line of that is just rich versus poor mentality. Unfortunately, it just be so happened that the wealthier people in the world happen to be, well, not in the world, but in this country, because the wealthiest motherfuckers are like overseas like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But in this country, you know, the wealthy people are like basically white people. And so if you think about the times of slavery, like shit, the master and the slave was the one that got shit. The master was the one that had shit. So even after slavery, you still had to go through Jim Crow, where black people was treated like shit, didn't have money. White people were privileged and had money. And then that shit, what we're living in now is just the fucking aftermath of that. So we being black people, yes, a lot of us are lower income than what a lot of the white people are. So what happens in our community is that in order to feel accepted in the country, in society or whatever, we have to be able to live up to their standard. And that's what the problem is. So whenever we get a little bit of something and we come up a little bit, we're looking down on the ones that don't have it and making them look and treating them like their shit. You know what I'm saying? So
but why?
And there's other things
people
too
that don't have a lot of money either, but they still share the same ideas of white people who have money.
They still share the same ideas. Absolutely, you're right.
And black people, we don't do that shit
because there's a privilege there. But if people took the time to realize that it's not about race, it's not about any of this other shit, and it's honestly about class, rich versus poor, and you realize that there's more poor people than rich people, it would only make sense to realize that the poor people come in very different shades of colors.
Yeah.
So until they realize that, man, it'll never get solved. So
I'm saying, like, people I work with on a daily basis somehow think they better, even though we have the same fucking job.
Oh, and don't get it twisted.
It's like, nigga, you right here with me, dude.
Don't get it twisted. And I'm not trying to shit on biracial people, but I know a few biracial people that do that shit too. You know, I'm not gonna say her name, but a girl I dated a long time ago. You know who I'm talking about? When I was in high school.
Yeah,
she was a mixed girl, and you know, man, she lived in the projects. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have nothing, but her mom was white, and she had that mentality like,
I'm better than
y'all. That's not what she did was she played the sides. So when she was around black people, she tried to do the black thing. When she was around white people, I'm you know what I'm saying? She was basically using both sides to her advantage depending on the situation she was in.
Right.
And that was just some shit I couldn't really get with. It was just like, that's just foul. But you know, that's the world we live in today. I could go into a whole, maybe I'll make that another one of them crackpot theories and rants, because I can go all day on that one.
Yeah.
But I know it's getting kind of late for you. What is it, 9:30? Yeah,
getting close.
So I'll go ahead. Well, I guess we can go ahead and call it a wrap. Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Crystal, and shout out to we got a new subscriber, man, Miss Sean. I don't want to put a full government out there, but how you doing, Sean? And
okay, Sean.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Well, again, I definitely want to shout out the Canada family for letting me work their daughter Sweet 16. Like I said, we've been working together for the last 3 years, so it's actually kind of cool to see like one of your clients' kids start off so young and now blossom into an adult. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of cool. And they actually have like two more behind them. So you know, if the business is still good, man, I'm looking forward to doing more work with them. And they've been really good clients over the past few years. So shout out to the Canada family.
Shout out to y'all, man.
And I think that's all I got. And yes, once again, thank you, Crystal, our number one fan, our patron.
Hey,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? The one who be on it when we be putting this stuff out to the world. So thank you so much for all of that. If you do want to be a supporter of the show on a financial level, definitely hit the Patreon link down below. As we mentioned earlier, if you are a fan of the show, you watch this show, you know, hey man, look, start putting them comments, like put your thoughts in the comments, man.
If so we can square up in the comments, man.
Yeah. If there's anything you're talking about that you agree with or disagree with, like comment. If you enjoyed the video, like the video. Share these videos, put them all over social media.
Yeah.
And most importantly, like I said, hit
It's
that
free.
subscribe button because it's absolutely free. It don't cost you a thing. Just not even like a slither of your time, just to click that button. So just make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And also,
in fact, next time y'all comes in, when next show y'all see, as soon as you come in, hit like.
Nah, hit that shit right now.
Yeah, right now.
But yeah, hit it on the next show too, in case you're missing on this one. But also, if you we have merch, so hit the merch link down below as well.
Yeah, man.
I think, is that it?
That's about it, dog.
Okay, I think that's it. All right, well, man, we appreciate y'all, and until next time,